Alright, so first of all, no, I'm not dead. I know it's been quiet on my channel and the reason is really simple. I have spent the last days playing Where Winds Meet and I was also trying to get some sleep. Well, one thing is going well, the other thing, well, not so good, so take a guess. So a lot of you have asked me about my final thoughts on Where Winds Meet after the release of the game. Which means today's video is about my first impressions after the release. And I'm talking about some good things and also some bad things. And also about some of the criticism that you can find surrounding the game on Steam reviews and stuff like that. And if it's rightful or if it's just ragebait. And I'm saying first impression because I don't feel like I can do a final review now. I have seen barely anything of the game. But before we jump in, if you want to support what I'm doing, maybe consider leaving a like and also subscribing to the channel because it helps me a lot. And maybe I can create more videos for you in the future. So, as I just mentioned, I have spent a lot of time in the game over the last days. And I can already tell you, even though I took 2 weeks off, essentially to also kind of relax, I literally can't because I am dying to get out of bed to play the game again. So if you want a very short answer to the question if it's good, my personal opinion is it is a 10 out of 10. But subjectively, it is a 9 out of 10 because there are still some problems in the release version and I'm going to talk about that. But all of that is nothing that can't be changed, which makes the game ultimately at least a 9 out of 10. But there are a lot of reasons why it's a 10 for me. First of all, I was craving a wuxia game a lot because I love the wuxia fantasy in general. One of the games that I spent the most time in was Age of Wushu and it was shut down like 1 or 2 years after release in Europe, and I kind of think we didn't get something good in the wuxia sector when it comes to MMOs in the past 10 years, so specifically with a lot of social features and stuff like that. So it's everything I wanted. Beyond that, over the last years, I fell in love with ARPGs, with Souls-like elements like Sekiro, and specifically the thrill behind perfect dodging and perfect parries, because you can literally feel the improvement. It's so satisfying. And I was craving for a game that I can play with friends, but that has challenging combat, specifically on the highest difficulty, with lots of satisfying elements like parries and perfect dodges. And let me tell you, the combat is so satisfying. If you pull off like one parry after another and a nice combo after that and maybe break the stance of the boss and it's just so nice. Beyond that, I was looking for a game with long-term playability and we can expect a lot of content and updates for the game. And what I can also say is the game looks extremely gorgeous. It's so beautiful, and that also helps me to immerse myself in these kind of games. And specifically when it comes to wuxia games, I want to immerse myself. And this game is literally a screenshot simulator, like a wallpaper simulator. I have never really felt the urge to make screenshots in games, but this game and its photo mode, I can't stop making wallpapers. And I think I made some pretty cool ones, like this one, or for example, this one. They look so good. They are my new wallpapers, actually. And I was also kind of craving for a game that combines both solo and co-op PvE content with cool PvP content. Like, I didn't want to have a solo game where I grind for days and I have no one to share that with, or no players against whom I can test my builds and my skill that I got. And the PvP in the game is really good. I love it. It's probably one of the most fun aspects of the whole game. And it has so many variants of PvP. You have Guild Wars 30 versus 30, you have duels, you have the arena with 1v1 at the moment, but you will also get 2v2 and 3v3 later on. You have bounty hunting, where you can literally invade players with a high crime stat and try to kill them. You have a PvP sect, where you have to kill higher ranked players to get their rank, but you don't have to go into the sect, so it's optional. And they even have a battle royale mode, which just feels like a whole game by itself. I specifically really love the battle royale mode. And the next reason why it's a 10 out of 10 for me is that the game respects my time. Everything I do in the game, no matter if it's doing social games, if it's doing PvP, if it's exploration, everything I do is worth it. It literally gives me stuff that I need in the game. So, or like stuff that I can use to buy cosmetics, and I feel like my time is respected a lot. Specifically because almost nothing is tied to the stamina system, and those things that are just for gear grinding. And gear grinding is just such a small portion of the game. And I was also craving for a game where I can literally spend time with my friends and also build a community. And this game has guilds with lots of different internal events that you can run and a cool guild hub to spend time in. It has co-op, you can do lots of stuff with your friends. It has many different versions of PvP. It has socialized functions like healing each other, playing music together, dancing. And in the future you can even buy a whole island with your friends and build on it, which is crazy. And I love that. You can marry someone, you can build a bond with someone, a brotherhood, discipleship, master and disciples, and all of that is just chef's kiss. So as you can see, the game offers a lot of stuff that I was just looking for in games and didn't really get in the past 10 years. So it ticks all the boxes, kind of. So it's obvious that it is a 10 out of 10 for me, but it might not be for you, so it's a personal thing. And the game is doing really, really good on the global market. Even though it was review bombed on the release because people were in the queues for the game because they didn't expect such a huge amount of players that wanted to play on release. But they quickly solved that. But it also seems that the Chinese community review bombed the game because they didn't want the developers to focus on two different versions, which kind of makes sense. And the game is actually rising in popularity on Steam. We have over 190,000 players right now. And this is just Steam. We also have the Epic version of the game. We have the standalone launcher, which most of the people that I know use, and I think most of the players in general. We have the PlayStation version, which was just a genius move. I think free-to-play games that are good on PlayStation always perform. And we even have the recently released mobile version, which also has cross-play and cross-progression. So I'm pretty sure that specifically every time a new season drops, the game will be crazy active. And even some big creators like Asmongold fell in love with the game. He literally uploaded videos saying he can't stop playing the game, and that is such a huge W. And that means good news for the future. We can expect lots of updates, lots of content updates, and great stuff in the future. So that's good news. But of course, with hundreds of thousands of people liking the game, which is extremely good, especially if we keep in mind that it is a wuxia game in the West, and that usually means it's going to have not many players. There's also some criticism and some people hating on the game. It's natural. And yes, there are some problems. And while some of the arguments from the community are valid, most of them are huge rage bait. For example, some people literally said after just 2 hours of playing the game, they have seen everything the game has to offer. And that is probably the biggest rage bait I have ever heard. Because I feel like even after 50 or 60 hours I have already spent in the game, I have barely scratched the surface of the content. My exploration is maybe at, let's say, 15%. There are still lots of main story quests ahead, specifically in the next seasons. The main story will be continued. And I have done maybe like 5% of the side quests. And I just haven't finished all the bosses. And specifically on legendary mode, that takes some time if you do it yourself. Because it's just like in a Souls-like game. You will have bosses that will take a few hours to beat if you play on legendary. I have just joined a sect and just started ranking up, and we literally just created the guild and we haven't seen any of the guild content so far. And I haven't even touched the MMO content like boss challenges and raids and stuff like that, because most of that is tied to the max level. So I haven't even touched that. Beyond that, there are events running, like you have to make like cool photos at specific locations and stuff like that. I haven't even paid attention to the events window. I'm just starting right now. I literally just unlocked different martial arts styles compared to my main set, and also mystical arts. I just have a few of them. And even the gear grind and gear upgrading process has not even started because we are not at max level. And lastly, if we talk about all the titles and achievements and collectibles in the game, I have maybe 1% of that. And there is so much more. The game is packed with content. It's blowing my mind. And of course, some of the content, some of the functions are locked behind progression. And I feel like people are literally playing for 1 hour and they haven't even unlocked any game modes, any new moves and stuff like that. And they just see one riddle in the overworld and they are like, that's like Genshin Impact. And everyone that plays the game can attest that. If anyone says, I have seen everything after 1 hour of playing the game, well...
No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. Hell no. No!
And it's literally just the beginning, because the Chinese version is 1 year ahead and they have 10 times the content already. And we will get the same in the next 12 months. And the Chinese version literally has new regions, new main story quests within these new regions. They have new weapons, some of which are the coolest weapons that I've ever seen, like the Hengdao or the freshly released fists that just came out yesterday, or gauntlets. Hundreds of new events, dozens of game modes. I mean, they literally have 8 PvP game modes while we just have 2. And that's just PvP. The same goes for all the other content. Now, let's talk about the combat in the game specifically, because I think that is the strongest argument of the game. It feels so satisfying. Some of the negative comments say that the game is tap targeting.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Because you can lock on to the enemy. Well, by that logic, Sekiro and Elden Ring is also tap targeting, because it's almost the same system. Merkst du selber, ne? Well, I would just throw something in the room and make a guess. These people chose the MMORPG camera at the beginning of the game when they had the choice, and not the ARPG camera in an ARPG game, which means they have to hold right click to move the camera and have some weird inputs. So if you chose the MMORPG camera, sorry to break it to you, but you didn't experience the game like it was supposed to be experienced. I also think that most of these people have not played until level 25, where you literally unlock the most important stuff for the moveset. They probably haven't unlocked the second ability, they probably haven't unlocked the weapon swap ability that you can do mid-combo, and they also haven't unlocked additional mystical arts to use in combat. So they say the combat is simple and bad or something. There are so many inputs on each martial arts style combined with the mystical arts that you can use, and there's a lot in the game with such a high skill level, and also parrying, perfect dodging. It's just fun. It's extremely fun, extremely satisfying. It's the best aspect of the game for me. Another topic that I wanted to specifically talk about is the MMO mode. Well, I've criticized that in another video already, but I think that some people came into this game with the wrong expectations. And they thought like it is straight up an MMO, and or like they can go to the MMO mode and experience everything there. This is not the case. The MMO mode is literally just a lobby. You can just go there, socialize with people, do some fun stuff like cultivate or run together, or like beg for money, dance, play music, find friends, talk to them, do some duels and stuff like that. So it's literally just a lobby kind of. And I still think that's cool. I think that's absolutely okay, but I do think that some people expected to have content in the MMO world that they can do, which is not the case. To be fair, I think this could have been done better, but you realize that the performance in the MMO world is not perfect, so fighting against mobs in this environment, specifically with so many people around you, and a combat system that needs like very well timed parries, like millisecond reactions and stuff, that wouldn't work in this environment. So I'm kind of happy that they did it this way, because I think the combat would be unplayable in this specific environment. But I understand that people criticize that because they have expected something else. But it is a lobby, but there is MMO content in the game, because you can queue for raids and you can queue for specific boss challenges. You can have your guild and your guild hub and guild wars. You can put a bounty on someone or track someone down and kill him. You can build something in your world and invite people over and socialize, RP, whatever. You have the sects where you can vote for a player leader. You have a trading system. There's a lot of MMO stuff in the game. It's just that most of that happens in specific instances and not in the open world of the MMO. And if you are completely fair to yourself, most MMOs, even retail World of Warcraft, is literally just playing to max level by yourself and then queuing for content. Yes, while you do that, you have other people walking around you, but does that really change how you experience the game? Because you don't interact with them. I have played retail WoW to max level with 3 characters and I haven't spoken to a single player. Sure, when it comes to end game raiding, you will have to, but it's the same in this game. The raids are not easy and you will probably need to use the voice chat. Same for Guild Wars. So while I kind of understand the criticism, I also kind of don't. I think they just found the correct middle way. They gave us a great solo mode. If I'm sick of other people, I can just go into my world and do stuff. But if I want to play with others and against others or with others, I can do whenever I want. Or if I just want to chat, just to chill, to play music, I can go into this MMO kind of lobby and just chill. Besides these 2 criticisms, there are also other reasons that people brought up why the game is bad in their eyes. And you can clearly tell that people are just extremely used to being hand-fed and also just overly negative and nitpicky about anything, or they simply just want to rage bait. Just to mention some of these weird criticisms, I've seen some people saying that they cannot hide their user ID in the bottom left or hide the XP bar, and they don't want to play this game anymore because of that. Or that the UI is far too complex and far too much for them. And the same argument comes from people that literally play World of Warcraft with this UI, literally just 90% UI and 10% game. And you can't expect the game to have a lot of content but 0 UI elements. I mean, come on. I just feel like some people don't even try to just get into a game. They want everything hand-fed. Or someone said, I can't change the controls in the tutorial, I won't keep playing the game. Brother, come on, it's literally one fight, and after that you can change the controls. Some people also criticize the gatekeeping of content because the max level is gradually increased every day, and also the story is kind of continued every day because they don't want people to grind to the end game in just one day. Specifically because these people then criticize the game for not finding any queue. But man, I have literally seen 1% of the game. Just do something else. There's so much to do in this game. There's more to a game than just reaching max level and finishing the storyline. They literally just want to rush both of these things in one day and then uninstall the game. But why? Why are gamers like that nowadays? I don't get it. And some people also say the PvP is bad in this game and they have no chance to get out of combos. Well, you can't expect to have fun in a PvP system if you don't spend time to learn it. You can parry everything in PvP. Just understand when the enemy is going to engage you and parry. You have weapons with skills that have super armor. Just use them when someone is about to engage you. You have mystical arts with super armor that can help you to also counter engage. You even have an ability to get out of combos, like a free card. And you also have another counter that if you fail a parry, but you block, you can also use a counter. So I think some of these people haven't unlocked anything and just straight up went into PvP. The game has a very high skill ceiling, probably one of the highest skill ceilings I've ever seen, so you have to spend time to get used to it. Losing is not a problem, just try to get better. But besides all of these kind of not really understandable issues, there are actually a few issues that I can absolutely understand, and I mean, the game is still having problems, absolutely. I mean, it would have been too good to just receive a perfect game on release, so let me just talk about the problems that the game has right now. First of all, there are some technical issues and bugs in the game. This specifically impacts the PS5 version because this version was not available in China. It literally just released for the first time and it has some issues. The UI is not scaling correctly and some performance issues and some bugs, but it's been actively worked on. They also forgot to nerf the healing in bounty hunting. So literally, if you bounty hunt someone and they have a healing weapon, you can't kill them. There are options. The game tells you to use a specific skill and also poison arrows to lower the healing, but it's impossible. It's absolutely impossible, but it's also being nerfed. There are also server issues in the game in some co-op instances and specifically in arena matchmaking sometimes, I think that there's something off with the server structure, which they also confirmed they are working on it. Another problem is that server times are incorrect, so it's almost impossible to time guild events right now. They just don't start, because while the guild events are shown in your local time, I think they actually kind of start according to Chinese time. It's just weird. They have to fix that. And also they kind of forgot to adjust the arena mode timing per server region, because they literally chose the same time frame for all regions, which in some regions is kind of weird, because in Germany specifically, the arena closes at 5 p.m. and opens at 11 p.m., which makes absolutely no sense. Literally dodging the prime time. Besides that, another problem in the game is that you cannot delete your character or start a second character. That is extremely bitter for people that wanted to skip the character creation to change their settings in the game and then like create a new character. And also very bitter for people that found out about legendary game mode a little later and just wanted to restart in legendary. Now, the function to create multiple characters is available in China, and I spoke to the team and they said they tried to get it in the release version, but it was just pretty tough to realize, like on a technical level, because it was bound to a newer version of the game which has more content and stuff, and they are kind of trying to get this function into our version earlier, but right now it's not available. Another issue is with the translation, specifically the voiceovers in the game, the English voiceover, because you see a lot of scenes where the voiceover is missing or a little distorted or something, and I just think they didn't make it in time. I mean, they literally took it off the Steam page a few weeks before release, and shortly before release they added it again, so maybe they were like, nah, let's release it without the English voiceover and just release it later. But I'm glad they didn't decide to like push the game to 2026. I was dying to play the game, and I'd rather have just some missing voice lines than waiting for the game like half a year. So I mean, I can deal with that. Some people feel like it's breaking the immersion, but for me it's not a big problem. But if you want a more complete voiceover experience, you should switch to Chinese. And another problem that many people stated that I can kind of understand is the monetization. It's kind of expensive. Like, don't get me wrong, the game is free and it's zero pay to win, so you can't pay to win this game. Everything is just cosmetics, but still some people want to buy something. I can kind of understand that, even though you can earn hundreds of cosmetics in game and some of them are really cool and you don't have to pay for that. And you can also like buy cosmetics in game with a currency that you can grind, so you can technically even get cool cash up cosmetics without paying money. But if you want to pay, it is expensive. Like a full outfit is about $40, and let's not talk about the gacha outfit. That is going to be very expensive if you want to pull it. But the cool thing is that the gacha outfit is going to be available even after the season, so you can still get it when the season is over. But there are some outfits, for example this one, where I really want the glasses but I don't want the rest. But I will have to buy the full outfit for about $40 just to get the glasses, which... So the game is not perfect. There is a list of known issues, and of course there are more issues than I just talked about, and they have a list of these issues on the Discord server. You can just check it out, and they are actively working on it, so they're keeping the community up to date, which is cool. But even with these problems, I enjoy the game more than most of the other games that I have played over the last 10 years, which is crazy. It's been such a long time that I literally have a game where I just want to get out of bed as early as possible and play it. And I can really see myself playing this game for a very long time, specifically because it is successful on a global level, and I know about all the content that we can expect from China already. That is already released and just needs to be translated. Like some of the coolest weapons, regions, game modes, and so much more. New story segments, and it's worth just coming back for the game over and over again. With all of that in mind, this is definitely my new main game, and I want to do more content on the game. So I would like to know, what kind of content do you guys want to see? Please share your ideas and thoughts and wishes in the comment section below. And I would also like to know, what do you think about the game? Do you like it? Did you have other expectations? Or did it meet your expectations? And are you going to play it long term, or did you already drop out? What are your thoughts? Besides that, just a quick info, even though my guild is in Europe, we also launched a US guild. And if you want to join the US guild, just check out my Discord server in the comment section below. And there is a US sign up. You can just drop a plus and the guild leader will get you into the guild until it's full. And on a personal note, I'm also going to stream on Friday. We are going to run a manual PvP tournament in our guild to determine the officer ranks in the guild. So if you want to see that stream, come say hi on Friday here on YouTube or on Twitch. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Now, if you still haven't played the game and you're still trying to decide which weapons you want to use, I have a full video showcasing all the weapons and mystical arts in the game. So if you want to check that out and maybe it helps you with the decision, then you should do that. It's a good video. I recommend it. And if you don't have the time, thank you for watching this video. I see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye bye.